Aloke, thank you so much for joining us and thank you for giving us the time of your day. So I'm really eager to know, and I'm going to quickly jump right into it. Our world is now stepping into this very exciting phase of digital transformation. But JK Tech had sort of the foresight to work towards this phase for the last 2 decades. Now, tell us about your journey and what inspired it.
First of all, you all must be aware that we are a 25-year-old organization, strong financially, traditional services with very loyal customers. Okay, this thing that you actually mentioned is actually another pandemic going on, which is the digital transformation in the global world right now. Whether it's your home or whether it's your businesses, business models are changing. And what we realized that if we want to continue to add value to our customers and enable them to stay ahead in this new business era, then if they're going to transform, then we need to transform. Okay. And what I've learned in my stay in this industry and in business is if we don't stay current and at the same time futuristic, you're likely to perish and lose your edge. Okay. And that has been the fundamental inspiration for us to start our transformational journey. You'll probably know that digital transformation, as we see it post-pandemic or through the pandemic eyes, has actually been happening in the world for a long period of time, but not across all industries, but in certain industries. For argument's sake, you all are very, very familiar with Uber, Lyft, okay, PayPal, Alibaba. They were not pandemic creations. These are digital platforms on which business and commerce is running. Okay. But what has happened, Shanu, is as COVID hit us and we saw Zomato and others coming and delivering stuff and Amazon going through the roof and delivering at home, I think the whole common population has started to understand that digital is the way the world and the life is going to move. Okay. So that if we have to survive in this market and help our customers, we got to transform. And that's the inspiration from where we started chartering the journey of JK Tech.
That sounds absolutely brilliant and exciting at the same time. Now, of course, JK's vision of being committed, to a superior experience has been one of the core attributes over the years. Now, in the current hybrid times, like you just mentioned, how has this particular vision become more relevant?
First of all, at the heart of JK Tech is the customer. And the customer, and then our people. Okay. If you look at the history of this organization, I've been 18 months in the company, but looking at the history of the organization, we have 80% retention of our customers who have stayed with us for more than 7 years. And this is not possible if you're not customer centric. Okay. But COVID actually laid a huge test on us, because the whole execution model, the way you interact with your customers changed. Okay. With the level of experience that we bring globally with some of the leadership team, we were able to move pretty fast and adjust to the models. So much so that during this time, our customers never felt, ever, that there was any disruption of delivery. And at the same time, our touch points with the customers increased, because as if you heard what Vinay was saying earlier, it would have been very good if we could meet and have a chat. Okay. But it was not the case. Okay. And a 1 hour meeting face to face is equivalent to 10 meetings that you will have on the week. So we had to step up our interaction with the customer on a monthly basis, just to keep each other informed of what was happening in each other's environment. And that has absolutely helped. And this is the hybrid model. This is now the DNA of how work will be done in the future. And I guess we are already mastering it. Many of the other organizations are. There is no choice. Okay, but I'm glad that we've been able to do this in a very nice way for our customers and stay very close with them.
So as much as, you absolutely say it's customer centric and there is such a great necessity for a digital transformation, how does JK Tech differentiate itself from the services that, that you provide?
First of all, I need you all to understand a few things. One is that our biggest differentiation is in the area when we started this transformation journey, Shanu, is that we decided we are not going to be all things to everyone. That was the first and foremost thing that we wanted to do. Okay? And what that means is that we will not emulate ourselves like Wipro, Capgemini, TCS, HCL, Tech Mahindra, etc. They are big companies, okay? They do many different things, in which digital solution is one of them, okay? And I have very intimate relationship with some of the top leaders in those companies. Having worked with them, some have been my bosses, okay? And they are great companies. And the others who are emulating them in the traditional business, which is the cornerstone of our IT business, okay? They cannot turn themselves on the dime if you know the companies that I'm talking about, because they're so ingrained in that. So what we said is that we do not have such a legacy baggage. We will hone our focus on a couple of markets because we can't be all things to everyone. So we said we'll be in healthcare medtech, we'll be in retail CPG, on consumer perishables because we are further sub-segmenting it for our focus, in insurance claims and manufacturing automobiles, okay? And we believe these segments, if you go and figure out from the research, will accelerate in a very, very big way towards digital transformation. When you look at electric vehicles, okay, you see how the claims process is already becoming a very citizen-driven environment. Medtechs are moving forward with genomics, etc. Okay, and obviously Amazon and everybody, Freshworks has proven that consumer perishables is going to be driven by B2C business. Correct. So we believe that there is so much of work to be done here, where these organizations have lived in a sort of a traditional model, that we should move in that direction. So first, we are focused in where we want to. So that's our first differentiation. We are not all things to everybody. The second piece of the puzzle is that a lot of the people in the industry do not know. It's a very well-kept secret about JK Tech. There are two technology areas that the industry actually knows that we are the top three technical people. And that's in progress and QAD. Okay. And they are rampant in many of the industries that I've just talked about. What we are doing there is taking these organizations from their legacy environment into a modernization environment through our modernization framework that enables them to kickstart the digital transformation journey. May it be in the microservices, cloud, etc. Okay, and the UX, UI areas. Okay. And the third is what we did is we created a digital transformation center of excellence. Okay. So you got the first, you got the second, right? Shanu? So this digital transformation center of innovation is absolutely focused on one of the biggest waves that are coming in the market, which is known as hyperautomation. Are you familiar with hyperautomation?
I'm familiar with it.
Okay. So we have embarked upon this. 9 months back, we committed into the market that we will be one of the players in hyperautomation. And with that, we started our strategic partnerships with companies like Celonis, Mendix, Evolute IQ to use their technology on our solution platform. Okay. Some of these solutions we are already putting into the market. For example, our digital packaging lab and our digital high trust solution, which is on the compliance side, is currently under POC with our medtech customers in the US. Okay. And these are first of the many solutions that we will bring in the hyper-automation space. So that's the third thing, which will actually differentiate us very differently in the market. Okay. We will walk the talk and not just talk and talk. Okay. That's how I have built businesses, Shan. Okay. The fourth is talent management. Okay. So we are acquiring smart, lateral, and fresh talent. Because if you look at this industry and what we are trying to do, this is a very, very decent industry. We do not have hordes of COBOL programmers in this industry the way industry had, right? Or Java programmers. Okay. So you have to find the smart talent and you have to put them underneath your framework training and build, because the things that we are trying to do is unique. Okay. Otherwise, it's trying to find a needle in a haystack. Okay. And this is what we are wrapping around with our training and reskilling programs. So that's the fourth part of how we are differentiating with our own IP and framework and our training modules and the solutions that we are bringing. And lastly, which I'm very, very proud of, that we've been able to attract a lot of senior talent, leadership talent from many of our revered companies where I've worked or I have my colleagues. Okay. Places like TCS, HCL, Accenture, okay, who are really bringing in a new culture and thinking from a very diverse standpoint. And Shanu, one of the most important things that I'm noticing in the organization that has happened, and thanks to COVID and this hybrid thing, this has opened up the world for us to hire women. Okay. India is perhaps one of the hotbeds of talent. And I think I'm seeing women workforce coming out of the woodwork because of this hybrid model to be able to contribute and yet keep that family balance for whatever reasons. I don't want to go into it. I may not agree with the pressure a women has to go through in the family. But I think this is really opening up the Pandora's box. And the type of talent that we are seeing come in, young talent, is just amazing. My HBR partner program is filled with people. My marketing team, communications team, Sona is sitting right out here, is filled with them. Okay. My delivery teams are filled with them. And there are more coming. So I think that has opened up another avenue for us to start bringing in and truly create a diversity-oriented company. I don't know whether I've answered your question.
Oh, absolutely. In such great depth and detail that too. I mean, with services so specific, I'm really sure you've had to face a lot of challenges, right? So please tell us about your challenges and, how have you been able to navigate through to them?
This is a very interesting question again, Shanu. Mani, there are multiple types of challenges that the industry is facing. Some of them are common, but many of them are uncommon because the road that we are moving on. First of all, again, I'll get back to that same statement that I made, that we don't want to be all things to anybody. Hence, we have a laser focus in the industries and segments and the domain solutions that we are doing. Okay. Secondly, we are perhaps the first few in the industry that has announced hyper-automation as the key go-to-market strategy. Okay. And if you see what Gartner talks about 596 billion is going to be the size of the hyper automation technology market. RPA is actually going to be 13 billion in 2030, and hyper automation is going to be 46 billion. Okay. So it's a market that everybody will charter with. Okay. And our leading differentiator is actually also a leading challenge for us, because we have to build the resources because it's not there. Okay. So we are pouring in a lot of intellectual capital into that piece. Okay. And we are putting leading industry technologies, and hence we have to do a significant amount of training in IBPMS, analytics, AML, process discovery, process automation, data integration on a low-code, no-code platform, which you all know, I'm sure, is the next way. But what is interesting is we are bringing in all these solutions, tools, underneath a common umbrella on our solution stack that enables our customers to deliver things faster, and they don't have to run around the pillar post. Now, within that, the biggest challenge is to find smart talent. So what we've done is we've created a very, very focused, surgical strike, if you may call, a team that focuses on engaging with smart talent in the industry that we want, okay, and smart talent in institutes like IIT, and we have a very good relationship with IIT Kanpur because of our heritage, that we are pulling people in. Plus, we are going out to other institutes and finding the smart talent that will harness the growth and the solution development that we are looking for. So that's one part of it. It's easier said than done, okay? But we are making good headway. In fact, right before this, I was having our Center of Innovations review meeting, right before this meeting with you all. The other challenge that we obviously have is on the traditional services that the industry is facing. 40% attrition. Thankfully, we don't have 40% attrition in our traditional services. We have a little less, but not much less, okay, to be very honest. And at the same time, the dropout rates in those typical skill sectors, okay? But in our digital transformation space, our challenges are a little different because we are very laser focused in finding the talent. But our attrition levels are very, because they are doing leading edge work with us, okay? So outside of that, the biggest boon, as I've told you once again, I will say, and I'm very, very proud to say that, is that we are tapping into a lot of women talent. Okay. And I think that's going to help us a lot. In fact, places like Chandigarh, places like Uttarakhand, I never dreamt that I would get talent. In fact, 2 of our employees are in Uttarakhand. Amazing. And they work 16 hours, enjoying life and family and profession. Okay. So I think this is how we have to manage the way we deal with it. But I think that workforce and all these things that is getting diverse will also help meet some of these challenges.
You have gone in great depth of how, how diverse you plan to be and how much of a visionary you are, and, of all the great services that you have planned in mind. So what is the way forward and what is the road ahead for JK Tech?
I can go beyond a certain set of conversations to tell you a lot more than what will get expressed in the due course of time. But a few things I will absolutely tell you, that what we have embarked upon as a first mover is obviously going to be copied by a bunch of organizations. I don't think that we will be the only people or the 1 or 2 in the market. There will be some people who will play catch up. But certainly, this digital transformation services and solutions that we are bringing in cannot be commoditized. Absolutely. I mean, it is not for all and sundry. Because what it requires investment, talent with imagination, and strong industry collaboration in domain and customer's core business. So just knowing technology and programming will not help. How to use technology to drive business value. So I think that will continue to lead the process. So the way forward with JK Tech is our customers will start seeing some unique solutions in the market. And we want to be known for those solutions. In fact, Shani, what I tell my team is that what we do for our customer, we should be priceless. For everything else, they are MasterCard. Okay, that's the vision in which I want to take the company, and we are already moving in that direction. We've made some bold moves. It's going to be highly exciting in the hyper automation space. It's like Columbus is moving forward. It's going to be challenging, but I can assure you it's going to be filled with fun at work for our people. Because every day they're discovering certain things new, and they're trying to solve a business problem for the customer. And I believe that fortune favors the brave.
This sounds very exciting and promising at the same time. Now, concluding, what are your hopes for the industry, and how do you see it evolving in the years to come?
Being 30 years in the industry now and globally, there are a couple of things that I think I would like to see continue in the industry, and I would say would happen in the industry. First, the hybrid model. This is here to stay. And what I'm also noticing globally is the drive for gig working. That's increasing. And remember, I told you a few minutes back that I'm already seeing the women workforce coming out with flexible. I think they will be the biggest gig workers. So gig working and hybrid model is going to stay if people have to really harness talent. Okay, so that's one of the things that I'm certainly seeing. The one other thing that I think is happening and will happen is there will be a consolidation of Me Too players by the big players. Okay, people who cannot get out of that rut of traditional services and move into this digital transformation journey will obviously get consolidated, which has happened in the industry in the past, will happen again. The one thing that I think will happen, now don't hold me to it, in the Indian market, which is very, very close to my heart because it's my largest workforce and for many companies, is the large hires that the freshers that are happening with the big players will ease out this massive mayhem that is going on in lateral hiring in India by Q3. So all this 40%, 50% rise hikes, I think will go through the window. Because the army is coming, in my mind, with these large organizations hiring the freshers. Okay, so that I think by Q3 we should be able to see. Okay, which is a good thing, but it's also, I think, a caution for a lot of the talent that has currently become very mercenary. Okay, so they need to wake up. It's happened during the .com era. It's going to happen again. The other thing that I think that the industry has been talking about, but has not been successful for a long time. And I'm not sure whether you're aware that at one point of time, there was a euphoria in the industry called the ITES. Divang Mehta and all these people in NASSCOM had at one point of time done that. IDC had thrown massive reports on ITES, okay, which fundamentally was basically saying we'll bring services and platforms together, okay, and bring business and IT to serve through those platforms. That was the main essence of it. I think platform as a service is something the industry will start moving towards, because they have to risk mitigate against this pure people-based service models. At least JK Tech is moving in that direction. Okay, and it's very close to my heart. And last but not the least, I think hyper-automation, which is what we live and breathe with, is certainly going to be the next wave in changing business models. And while I say that, I think if you go into Amazon, okay, I have very dear friends working in Amazon in the US. They are actually there. They are actually doing it through this framework, okay? Excepting Gartner 2 years back said hyper-automation. But that's their platform. That's the platform of Uber, okay? So there is no running away from this. So I think this will happen. And there will be a change given this phenomena that you'll probably will start hearing, or I'm sure you'll have heard, is the work groups within an organization will get fused. Okay. Where the business and the technology will all come together to form teams that will deliver solutions for the organization and the organization's customers. So there is a fusion team that is already starting to happen. I'm seeing that in the US already. Okay. So I think that's going to be within customers that I will see happening. So that's all that I can see through my hazy crystal ball.
I mean, these insights are fantastic. And, thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us and, of course, giving us your time. And I'm sure you're looking forward to a fantastic vacation and a great drive with your family. So,
hopefully.
Safe drive and a fabulous holiday.